So I want to show you how to go into GSS and download and explore variables. The first thing that you'll need to do is create an account if you haven't done that already. And once you have an account, you can log in to the GSS Data Explorer website. I'm going to use my already saved login. And what you want to do when you get there is you want to create a project. And you want to give your project a name. Maybe your project would be Homework 8. You can either keep that project private so that only you can look at it, or you can invite other people to join that project. So you could invite me to join the project if you wanted to, or you could invite another student or colleague to join the project if you're working on something together. This allows you to share your work. I'm going to stick with private right now, but I can always go back to settings and change that. When you are deciding what kinds of file formats you want to extract, you want Excel workbook data plus metadata. That's going to give you the data, but also that codebook information that has been in the spreadsheets that I've shared with you. So you want Excel workbook data and metadata. Then you can get started. So now I'm in my Homework 8 project. Right now in my Homework 8 project, there are only 3 variables. There is the GSS year for that particular respondent, the respondent ID number, and the ballot used for interview. What you want to do now is you want to start exploring the variables, seeing what's in there that might be interesting to you. So you can do that by going to Search Variables, and you can search by topics. So you can enter keywords into the search bar. Let's say you want to research schools, education, schools. I'm going to start by typing in school, see what shows up. So you get some variables. Have you ever participated in a school-related demonstration? The importance of formal school for the job you have? A question about government spending on education. All in all, there are about 269 questions that may relate to your topic. So you can click on that and it will pull all of them up, probably about 25 at a time. And you can begin exploring all of these questions. Some of them may relate more to school than others, but this is a way to get started. You could also try searching the word education. Let's see what happens there. With education, you get a different set of variables. And again, you can look and see what the question text was. If you click on the name of the variable, View Variable Detail shows up. If you click on that, it will take you to some general information about the question, like frequency tables by year the question was asked. So you can see a lot of information about the variable. It will also take you to some related variables that you might want to explore. An important piece of the way the GSS is organized, I'm going to go back now, but an important piece of the way the GSS is organized is it shows you what date, what year variables were collected. Remember, each respondent only answered questions in 1 year. And so you want to be careful to be sure that when you get variables from the data set, that they show up in a year that is useful to you. So this is where, by the way, ballot A, B, and C comes in. There are some variables where they collect data on, there are some variables they only collect from certain people in the sample. So they randomly sample a third of the people and they give them a particular ballot, and that ballot has particular questions on it. So whenever you see these slashes, it means the question is available, but it's available for a random subset of people who were sampled that year. So you can still use that, but you'll find, for example, confidence in education, if the person answered ballot A, they aren't going to have any answers for this question. So you'll just be working with the ballot B and ballot C respondents. So another question, another topic that might be of interest is discrimination. I'm not sure what's going to show up if I type this, but you get a whole bunch of questions also about discrimination. There's 12 of them. These are primarily appear to be opinion questions. You could go and you could look at the question descriptions. So that's how you explore the variables if you find a variable that you like. So I'm going to go back to education here. If you find a variable that you like, then you can add it to your cart, and you do that just by clicking the plus. So if we want to see the highest year that someone's spouse completed, we would add that variable to the cart. I think I'm also interested in the highest year that this person completed. Let's see. And I'm not sure where that's going to be, but if I could find that, I would put that in there. And so the way you put questions in the cart is you check them. And then you can go on and you can save your search. Actually, don't do that. You can check them, and then you can, eventually you'll move them all into your cart. So that's now in my cart. So let's go up here and look at the variables in my cart, and you can see it's been added. Let's say I wanted to look at marital status, so something about wedding, whole bunch of questions about marital status. This is a good one, marital. That says whether or not you're married. That's kind of a broad general question. I'm going to add that to my cart. And I'm also going to add this legal marital status to my cart. That was only asked in 2008, but it was asked of all respondents. I'll add that for now. I may not end up using it because it was only asked in 1 year. And these are bunch of questions that you could add. Let's see, what about children? There are a lot of questions on children. There are questions with your opinions about children. There also are questions on how many children you have. It may take us a little while to find those. It may how many siblings you had maybe in here. So there's lots of questions that you can kind of sort through and just see if anything jumps out at you. Children to school, were kind of who you went to school with, number of children that you have, number of children you have ever had, that's a good question. And number of siblings, another good question I want to add to my cart. So you can see there's a lot of questions in here. You're not necessarily going to be interested in all of them, but you can put them in your cart. And then you want to go and view all. And when you have all the variables you want, then you're going to take action and you're going to extract the data. And you're going to give the data extract a name. So I'm just going to say homework 8 data. And go to next. And then you are going to take the variables from your box, from your cart that you want. And I am going to select all of these variables to download. So you just take them and you slide them over. You've put them in your cart, and now you're going to buy them, but they're free. You go to next, and here is where you want case selection. And this is if you only wanted to say choose, let's say you just wanted married people. So you could put marriage in here, and you could say, I only want data from married people, or I only want data from people who have never been married. So this is a way to narrow in your data so you're looking at more in a more limited fashion. So I'm actually going to look at people who are never married, and I'm going to go and now I'm going to choose my output option. But I'm going to choose certain years, and I'm only going to choose 2018. If you're super careful as you go through this, you will know what years your variables are available. If you get too many years of variables, you will get an awful lot of cases that will be hard to make sense of. I would generally choose at this stage just 1 year worth of variables, and I would choose 2018. And then you create the extract. It's going to take a little while to do this, but eventually you will have a file you can download right where this spinner is going.